I actually know the name Henry Blodgett because of you, and I only hear it in your accent.
Blodgett. He's an all-time cocksucker. He's an all-time cocksucker.
Yeah.
I mean, he is.
This is a Business Insider guy?
Yeah, he owns Business Insider. I mean, he's a crook.
Yeah.
The man is like, and I'm
What
not.
business do they talk about?
Yeah,
There's no business. I don't see articles about companies.
You could pay to be on their site. They're a piece of shit.
He is banned by the SEC. I mean, that's. I'm not. He worked for, I think, was it Merrill or one of the big firms?
Yeah.
And he literally got caught, like telling his clients, which were any like mom and pop people, like buy this stock, and then his emails being like, this stock is trash. He got one of the biggest fines in the history of the SEC, and he's banned. This guy is a legitimate crook.
Yeah.
And then he started Business Insider talking about Wall Street. I guess that they're scumbags. And he's the guy who owns Business Insider, which, by the way, people are probably like, what's he talking about? Their whole model, they're bought by a company that owns a German newspaper, I think it's Bild. Their model, it's well known. It is just salacious headlines for clicks. That's what they do. And they couch it like they're this real business thing. They're not. They're trash. And I paid a lot more attention since I've been involved with them. But it's like every week, it's somebody else that they're doing the same shit. It's fucking wild.
And behind the paywall.
Behind the paywall.
Most hilarious.
And then they advertise it everywhere. It's
this
like
guy's
discount.
dangerous. Pay $10 to see what.
Listen, I'm suing right now, so I'm suing them.
Good.
Which
good for you.
Literally, every lawyer is like, it's going to be almost impossible. You're a public figure. Like, in what drives me nuts, some of the shit they say. So they can just play dumb. They can just be like, we're a bad reporter. What was said to us, we didn't do any bad. Someone just day pointed to this, day pointed to that. It's not their job to do the due diligence to see if it's the truth. They can be like, oh, we didn't know.
A source.
The source said that. The source was lying to us. That's their fault, not yours. But I don't give a fuck. It's like, I need to see them in court. There's another publication. I'm not saying the name because I've learned. I don't want to connect the dots. That's trying to do this.
To see them in court.
Like, is doing the same.
Oh, really?
Same thing, yeah. And I found out about it's the same. Like, I'm getting all these girls being like, Dave, what's this about? I ambushed the reporter at her house. I found out where she lived. I did a fucking stakeout for like 5 hours. Jumped out of the car.
You personally?
Yeah, me personally.
Wait, so you get in the car, you're sitting out there, you're watching the house?
It was like it was like Point Break. I was just sitting there.
Did
watching.
you dress up?
No, I was just sitting there with me and my camera guy.
He's dressed for Point Break.
Yeah, I got like a 10-minute video. She's in the publication. They wrote there like, we don't appreciate that. We'll talk to you when we're ready. It's like, fuck no. It's like, you're gonna write this you'll write the article, and then you'll, like, Business Insider spent a year digging up shit on me, and they found nothing.
Yeah.
And then they gave me 24 hours. 24 hours to be like, what do you say about this and that? They wrote a second article. I had a leak at Business Insider. Somebody sent me the draft before they published it. And they tried to do the same this time because they're so vague. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I had time to figure it out, the second article. So when they said, hey, here's your 24 hours, I was like, bang, here's the facts, change the total article. If I didn't have the leak, there'd be things in there that are so false and so over the top, and things I did, they would have published it and be like, oh, we didn't know, but because I had the leak, that's how fucked up the whole thing is. It's like, I literally have an article that they were ready to publish, and if I didn't have a mole, they would have published it.
Wow.
But since I had the mole, it gave me more time to be like, here's all the text, here's everything, lie.
Oh, so you were ready. Oh.
So the first time, I had no clue who they were talking about, so I got so blindsided. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know the details. One of the girls, their star girl in the first one, who literally says in the article, they're like, we don't want, she didn't want her name out there to protect herself. She went on TikTok, said who she was, launched an OnlyFans, became top like 1%, full-blown porn star now. This girl is in the article saying, I don't like to be filmed. She's a full-blown porn star. I'm not talking like R-rated. She's like as full-blown as you can be. Like double team, you name it.
Okay, you gotta tell us after. Can you?
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. I don't care at this point, but have they ever mentioned that? Like, this is the girl who's the lead.
Who's clout chasing.
Yeah, the lead headline. Like, oh, he filmed me without consent. That's why I said to the reporter it sounds rude. When I ambushed the reporter, she's like, do you film without consent? I'm like, if a girl's giving you head on her knees talking to the camera, would you say that's without consent? She's like, no. I'm like, here. I'm literally like, do you want to see the video? I'm like, I haven't. She's like, no, I don't want to see it. It's like, well, Like,
and what are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She's like, why haven't you said that? It's like, I've been screaming it from the rooftops.
Why
guys
haven't you
don't want to
asked?
hear it. Correct.
Why did you go for a year and do all this research?
I have a girl videoed a conversation and on my behalf, and the reporter, this new one, she's like, do you know his ex-wife at all? Have you ever talked to her? What's she like? It's like, nobody's ever. I was married to my ex-wife for 5 years. She's still my best friend. No one's not once reached out to her, be like, what kind of person's Dave? Not once.
Wow.
Because they don't want to know.
Anybody who says anything positive about me, forget it. They don't want it.
Yeah. Why do you think they're coming for you?
Page views. I mean, there's a couple things. I think I got viewed as political. So like Business Insider only goes after people they perceive of
Elon Musk now.
Yeah.
Well, it was Rogan.
Yep.
Right.
Anybody?
It was Trump, then Rogan, and now they're doing Musk. And then you're percolating in that. I feel like, those are the lily pads.
Yep.
They just keep jumping.
And I talk about it, which.
But you also go on like Fox and stuff like that.
Totally.
Because they'll be talking about something that aligns with something you feel. It'll be like, and this is something that I am very careful with as well, is they can use you as a mascot for something that you agree with, but then kind of wrap you into other political affiliations.
And I've always said that about me on the political side. I hate politics. I hate the extreme left. I hate the extreme right.
Yeah.
You can ask me a question, you're not going to know the answer based on what you think left or right. That's not how I am. Like, I mean, it's just not. I remember I went on Fox one time with Tucker Carlson, and it was Kaepernick, and it was when Nike signed him. And I was like, to be honest, I think it's a great move by Nike. I think like that the urban market is going to love it. I think he's a perfect guy for them. And I got crucified by people being like, he's trashing Kaepernick. It's like they didn't even listen to what the interview said. Like I was like, I think it's a great move. So, but if you go on Fox, you're Hitler. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you say on Fox. If you go on Tucker Carlson, they perceive you as Hitler. And I've done my research on most of the people I go on, and I don't find the smoking gun. So I keep going on. Yeah. And by the way, CNN or any of those people ask me on, I'll go on there.
But they won't, right?
No, I'll go on anywhere that I am. Like I said, Fox is fucking huge. They got a huge audience. I'm trying to grow our audience. Yeah. You ask me on a big program, I'm there with bells on. Yeah. I'll be me.
Yeah. It is interesting though that like certain places are so radioactive.
That's one of them. But it's like he's a huge show. But to answer your question, I also talk about these articles, and they put it behind a paywall. So when I'm screaming, guess what? People want to read what I'm screaming about. So it actually, in a weird way, plays into their hands.
Yeah, and you only need a few thousand people to recoup that investment.
Correct, yeah.
Now, how do you think you've been politically polarized, but Barstool is neutral still?
Yeah, but people I don't think view it that way.
Really?
Yeah, I think they
view it as like guy culture and like, what is it, locker room stuff, like fun, like ball busting. But I don't think anybody's like, these are where the right wing conservatives are.
No.
Really?
Yeah. But those are people who aren't paying attention, but they do. Yeah. They do. Yeah. And we have everything. I mean, listen, people think we're like racist white guys, some people. We have the #1 urban podcast in the country, bar none. Like $1 million worth of games, fucking huge. Yeah. And they're awesome. But if you don't want to look there, you don't have to look there. We have a female CEO. People say I hired her just because she's female. It's like, do you know who Jenna Marbles is?
Yeah.
So like, she worked for me. I discovered Jenna Marbles. She's working at a tanning salon in Boston. I hired her. Yeah, this is wild. We started a site called Stool La La. It was just the female version of Barstool. Yeah. We'd have Smoke Show, Pretty Girl. She'd have Smoke Bro. This is before anybody ever called us sexist. Right. The only reason she left is she got huge. Right. So, like, people just don't do the research on us. We're just trying to make people laugh. And if you want to say we're equal opportunity haters, fine. Yeah. But, like, there's never been somebody in our doors who have said, look, this, that, the other thing.